Okay, so this video is going to be all about my Eugenia collection. Most of these are Eugenias. This is not a Eugenia. This is a Barbados cherry, which is a different species. But I have it here because it's like a little fruiting cherry tree, like most of my Eugenias. So I have it on the same path, so just kind of walk down here and pick them. This is a guava. Guava is in the myrtle family, which is Eugenia family. And you can tell guava by looking at that. The trunk has an ornamental trunk with that kind of bark, that sheds bark and has colorful shedding. It's ornamental. A lot of myrtles and Eugenias have that. Some of them are grown specifically for that. Like this is a very common ornamental Eugenia globus, and they grow it as an ornamental because the foliage is, they can prune it into a globe or into a spiral or something, so it makes a good landscaping specimen. That was here. I didn't plant that, but these have all been planted recently. So these are all in containers here. So this is Cherry of the Rio Grande, Eugenia aggregata. And this wants to grow like very leggy, I call it, because it kind of grows very tall when it has new growth. It grows up and it grows very long. So I kind of prune it back because I want the canopy to be kind of more denser. I don't want it to be too tall. I'm going to keep these all, you know, the ones in the back I'm going to keep 8 feet, and then these two in the pot probably can keep around 5 feet. So this is Cherry of the Rio Grande. This is Patangatuba. I'm not sure if that's the right Eugenia name because I think it was updated. Eugenia Nina, that's what I have for it. Patangatuba. These are all from the northeast coast of Brazil, which is Bahia, state of Bahia. That's why Cherry of the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande is the Amazon, the Great River. Just north of it, there's a native Indian there called the Tupi, T-U-P-I. So a lot of these names come from the Tupis language, or kind of the mixture of language they speak. This is Patanga. So Patanga and Patangatuba I have in these pots here. This is flowering. This fruits a lot. I had a lot of fruit off this already. It's very good. Very sour, but I like sour fruit. This is my Jaboticaba. This is Sabara, which is a purple variety. That's more common down here. There's been a lot of new hybrids. This used to be a Eugenia. Now they're calling it a Plinia Cauliflora. I guess because there's a lot of different varieties of Jaboticaba now, and they want to make it their own subspecies. But it's very Eugenia. I mean, if you look at these leaves, look at these leaves here, and then look at the most common myrtle, your most common Eugenia there is, which is the ornamental landscaping Eugenia, almost identical. So this is Jaboticaba. It's very clearly a Eugenia, but they're making it its own subspecies, I guess, because there's so many new cultivars and varieties of it, just to give it its own header. This is my Patomba. This is Eugenia Lucian. I can't pronounce that. Luciana. Lushnathiana. And that's a slow-growing ornamental Eugenia as well. So all of these trees will get ornamental bark when they get bigger. My Cherry of the Rio Grande has the nicest trunk so far. I just topped it heavy. That's why it doesn't have a lot of foliage. It's going to throw out some new growth. But you can see how it's starting to get very ornamental and starting to peel, have that peeling look. Guavas get that, Eugenias get that. So these all fruit different types of cherries. This is Cherry of the Rio Grande, has a red cherry that has a cherry-like flavor, has its own flavor to it. They all have their own flavor. This is very sour, Patangatuba. Patomba has a very unique flavor as well. Some people describe it as apricot. It's more floral than that. It's more floral. It's more like maybe a loquat, if you ever had that. This is Suriname cherry, but this is Zil Dark, which is the black Suriname cherry. Sometimes Suriname cherry, the red ones, can have a little off flavor, almost like a gasoline taste. Some people like it. Some people that grew up around it love it. Others find it kind of off-putting flavor. But the very sweet varieties of Suriname cherry, Patanga, don't have that. Then they're probably the sweetest of all the Eugenias. And they're very common. They're very common landscape trees. This is kind of wilting a little bit. I guess I was a little too rough with the... I may have been a little too rough when I was transplanting it. So it's not too happy, but it's very vigorous. These things, they grow as hedges in the ground. And they grow. So yeah, there's my Jabo de Cava. I think I'm going to end up grafting these two branches right here. I'm going to graft on another variety, probably a red. Probably graft when those get a little bit thicker. I'm going to probably, maybe this year, if they thicken up a little, I'll graft them when it starts throwing out new growth. And it starts looking like it's in a growth spurt. So I'll have a hybrid cocktail Jabo de Cava tree. Because I don't want to plant another one. I kind of just want one. So yeah, this is my ornamental Eugenia collection. These grow in the, like I said, the northeastern part of Brazil, Bahia State, on the rivers. Hope you enjoyed.